It was 2:04 a.m. when I stepped out into the rain and realized my phone was about to die. Not the dramatic, cinematic kind of rain. This was the miserable kind that soaks your sleeves instantly and makes the streetlights look like they're underwater. The kind that turns every dark surface into a mirror. I'd been at a friend's place, a small get-together that drifted later than it should have, in an area that was technically part of the city, but felt like it belonged to nobody after midnight. Warehouse buildings, loading docks, empty lots, a few dim security lights blinking on chain link fences. The street was quiet in a way that felt unnatural. No traffic, no pedestrians, no distant club noise, just rain tapping on metal and the occasional groan of wind pushing through alleyways. I checked my phone. 10%. I remember staring at that number like it was a countdown to something. I'd had plenty of nights where I'd pushed my battery too far, but this time the low percentage hit differently. Maybe it was the emptiness of the area, or maybe it was the way my friend's building door clicked shut behind me, cutting off the only warm human sound. I opened the rideshare app with fingers that were already numb from the cold. The screen lagged. Poor signal in industrial zones is practically a guarantee. I got it to load, typed in my address, and hit request. It found a driver quickly. I took a second to screenshot the details out of habit, but the battery warning popped up and the screen dimmed. The app said, "Vehicle, black sedan." That was it. No photo loaded. No license plate appeared yet. It was still connecting to driver. I hovered under the shallow awning near the building entrance, trying to keep rain off my phone, watching the street. The nearest intersection was a half block away, and beyond that, it was nothing but dark road and warehouse silhouettes. The kind of place where your footsteps sound too loud. A car appeared almost immediately. Black sedan. Headlights washed the wet pavement in bright white. It slowed as it approached the curb where I stood, then rolled to a stop with the kind of confidence that said, "This is exactly where I'm supposed to be." My first thought was relief so sharp I almost laughed. I hadn't realized how tense I was until that moment. The car was the only one on the street. No other headlights, no other movement. It didn't have a rideshare sticker in the window, no glowing phone on the dash that I could see. But a lot of drivers don't display anything at night, and in that rain I wasn't about to play detective. My phone battery was bleeding out by the second. I stepped closer, rain splattering the shoulders of my jacket. The passenger window rolled down a few inches. Warm air leaked out, mixed with something that made my nose wrinkle, like chemical cleaner and a heavy air freshener fighting each other. The driver was a man, maybe in his 30s or 40s. He had a baseball cap pulled low and the kind of face that could disappear in a crowd. Nothing memorable, nothing that screamed danger. He looked forward, not at me, like he'd done this 1,000 times. And I made the mistake that I still replay in my head. I leaned in slightly and asked, "Are you here for my name?" He turned his head just enough to look at me. His smile came slowly, like it had to be chosen. "Yeah," he said, "get in." That was all it took. That one word, "yeah," paired with my name hanging in the air like a permission slip. I didn't ask him to confirm anything. I didn't check a plate. I didn't compare the car details. In my mind, the logic was simple. Black sedan, right place, right time, quiet street, raining, phone dying. It fit. I opened the rear passenger door and slid inside. The first thing I noticed was the smell. It hit harder in the back seat. Sharp, artificial, like a cleaner meant to erase something. The kind of smell you get when someone is trying too hard to make a car smell fresh. Under it, there was something sour, almost metallic. I held my breath without realizing it. The second thing I noticed was the interior itself. It was clean, but not in a cared-for way. more like it had been wiped down recently. The leather seats felt slightly tacky against my wet jeans, like they'd been disinfected. The driver pulled away immediately, tires hissing on the wet road. I looked down at my phone, thumb hovering over the app, ready to see the trip begin. Usually you get that little notification. Your driver is on the way. Then, trip started. The map animates. The route appears. It's comforting, like a leash connecting you to a system bigger than the car you're sitting in. Nothing happened. The app was still on the Finding Driver screen, spinning. My stomach tightened just a little. I told myself it was lag, bad service, the rain, the industrial zone. I glanced at the dashboard. No phone mount, no GPS screen, no driver app open, just a plain dash and a faint blue glow from the radio. The driver didn't speak, not the usual, "How's your night?" or "What's the address?" Silence, thick, intentional silence. The car turned left at the next intersection, away from the direction I knew led back toward the main roads. I leaned forward slightly, trying to keep my tone light. "Hey, I think it's the other way, toward the main road." He didn't answer. He made another turn and the buildings became fewer. Streetlights spaced farther apart. The road widened into a stretch that felt like it belonged outside the city. The kind of road that leads to highways, not neighborhoods. I looked at my phone again. 9%. The app finally loaded something, but it wasn't the trip screen. It buzzed. A notification banner slid down. "Your driver, Michael, is arriving in 2 minutes. Look for the silver Toyota." For a second, my brain refused to process it, like it was a typo, like it was a delayed message from a different request. Then the words locked into place. Michael, silver Toyota. I was in a black sedan. My throat went dry so fast it felt like I'd swallowed sand. I stared at the notification until my vision blurred. I could feel my heartbeat in my fingertips gripping the phone. My stomach dropped into a cold, weightless panic. I looked up. The driver's eyes were on me in the rearview mirror. Not a quick glance, not the normal checking the passenger look. He was watching me, and his smile, it was different now, wider, as if he'd been waiting for me to understand, as if the moment I got the notification was the moment the game officially started. My mouth opened, but nothing came out at first. I forced words out, trying to sound calm even as my skin went icy. "Hey, wrong car," I said. "I think you're not my driver. Can you pull over?" He didn't answer. The car accelerated, not dramatically, but enough that the road noise rose. The rain streaked faster across the windows. Streetlights became flashes instead of steady pools of light. My eyes flicked to the door handle. I reached for it. I pulled. Nothing. The door didn't budge. I pulled again, harder, and it still didn't open. Child locks. A simple, stupid feature meant to protect kids now turned the back seat into a locked box. Panic surged so fast it made my hands clumsy. I tried the other door. Same. My breath came in sharp, shallow pulls. "Stop the car," I said louder. "Stop the car right now." The driver made a sound, not a word. A low, amused exhale, like a laugh swallowed before it could fully form. His fingers tightened on the steering wheel. He kept driving. The road ahead narrowed into a darker stretch. Trees started appearing on one side. Not a forest, but enough to make the street feel closed in. No storefronts, no houses, just wet asphalt and darkness. My phone buzzed again. Michael has arrived. I wasn't even looking at the screen anymore. It didn't matter. The truth was in the air now. I tried to think, call 911, but I had no idea if I had signal. The battery was dropping. And even if I called, what would I say? I'm in the wrong car. They'd ask the address. The cross street. I didn't know. I looked at the front seat. The driver's phone wasn't there. Nothing mounted. Nothing that would show me a route. He wasn't lost. He wasn't taking a shortcut. He was going somewhere he already knew. I leaned forward and tried a different approach, something that might trigger normal human behavior. "I'll pay you," I said. "Whatever you want, just pull over. I won't report you. I'll get out and that's it." His eyes flicked up to the mirror again. The smile stayed. Then, softly, like he was talking to himself, he muttered something I barely heard over the rain and tires. Always the same. The way he said it, tired, almost practiced, was worse than a threat, like this wasn't new, like I wasn't his first. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped my phone. I forced myself to breathe. I needed a decision. I needed an opening. The car approached a stop sign where a side road met the main stretch. The driver slowed. The brake lights washed the wet road in red, and for a heartbeat the car felt vulnerable, slower, less unstoppable. I leaned forward hard, reaching between the front seats. My hand fumbled near the center console. Some cars have the child lock override there, most don't, but I wasn't thinking logically. I was grabbing at anything. My fingers found the front passenger door lock switch. I hit it. The locks clicked. I didn't know if that unlocked mine too. I didn't wait to find out. As the car rolled into the stop, I lunged for the back door handle and pulled with everything I had. This time the door opened an inch. Then two. The rain slapped my face. Cold air rushed in. The driver's head snapped slightly, like he'd realized the mistake too late. "Hey," he started, voice finally sharp. I didn't let him finish. I shoved the door open and threw myself out. I hit the wet asphalt hard. My shoulder slammed first, then my hip. The impact stole my breath and lit pain down my arm like electricity. For a second I slid, scraping my palms, water splashing into my sleeves. The car's tires screeched as it stopped. I rolled onto my back, gasping, and saw the sedan's reverse lights flare white in the rain. It was backing up. My brain screamed at my body to move. I scrambled to my feet, slipping, half crawling, half running toward the side of the road. Headlights appeared ahead, another car coming down the road. A normal car, a random car, salvation in the form of someone else's presence. The black sedan hesitated. Reverse lights stayed on for a second longer, like the driver was weighing risk versus reward. Then, as the approaching car got closer, the sedan's reverse lights flicked off and it shot forward, accelerating into the darkness. Gone. I stumbled toward the approaching car, waving my arms like a maniac. The driver slowed, probably thinking I was drunk or dangerous, and I don't blame them. I must have looked insane, soaked, bleeding, shaking. "Please," I choked out, "call the police. Someone..." They let me stand near their passenger side while they called. My phone was still in my hand somehow, screen cracked and flickering, battery at 6%. I stared at it like it was proof that what happened was real. When the police arrived, my words came out in bursts. Wrong car. Knew my name. Child locks. Tried to take me somewhere. Black sedan. No sticker. No plate. Because in the rain, in the panic, I hadn't thought to look. They took me to the station to file a report. An officer drove back to the area I'd been picked up, looking for cameras, plate readers, anything. The only solid thing we had was what the rideshare app showed. My real driver had been a guy named Michael in a silver Toyota sitting 2 minutes away, probably confused why I wasn't answering. When the police contacted him later, he confirmed he'd waited, called through the app, then left. As for the black sedan, nothing. No matching reports, no clear footage, And when the police later checked plate readers near the main road, they found a black sedan that passed through around that time, with plates that belonged to a different vehicle. Stolen plates. Of course. I don't go out late without a charger now. I don't stand alone on dark streets. And I do not get into any car, rideshare or otherwise, without verifying the license plate first. But the lesson that still makes my stomach twist is simpler than that. The most dangerous moment wasn't when I realized I was in the wrong car. It was the moment on the curb when I handed a stranger the most important piece of information, my name, and watched him smile like he'd just won something. So if you take anything from this, take this. Never ask, "Are you here for me?" Make them tell you your name first, and if you can't verify the plate, don't get in. Because there are people out there who don't need a rideshare app to find you. They just need you to confirm you're the one they're waiting for.